one of the men got a little too close to the side of the edge of this mountain. And he found himself slipping off the side of this mountain, and we had to make a human chain to save his life. You are the only person that I trust to capture this image. So she had coordinated with
BJ.
Yes, all those individuals and said, I know my brother can capture this moment in history. I would join the Air Force in 1989 and leave a gang war and actually go to war. I was like, hey man, if I brought some trash bags back, would you clean this up? And he was like, yeah, I'll do that. And I said, I brought you some food, you know.
Right.
Took him some trash bags, and when I came back, he had it all bagged up. And I'm like, ding. The other twin, you know, that was crazy because at the funeral, he said, imagine seeing yourself in the casket, but you're still alive. Unhoused, I don't see unhoused.
Right.
I see an attorney, I see a fireman, I see a teacher, I see a doctor, but a choice or a situation or a lack of family or a lack of love has them in this place at this particular moment.
Welcome back to the Gen Care Podcast, your one-stop shop of inspiring stories for transformation and purpose. I'm your host, Leslie Deans Bryant, and today we have a remarkable guest, Duke Givens, a photographer and a visual storyteller, the founder of Care Closet LBC, and an Air Force veteran who has captured the heart and soul of Long Beach through his powerful lens. Duke, my brother, literally my childhood friend.
Yes.
Thank you for coming here and joining. Welcome to the Care Den. Thank you for joining the Gen Care Podcast. But in here it's called the Care Den.
The Care Den.
Because we care about what's going on in the community, and we want to make sure that other people can help or just relate to anything that's going on and just to make a difference. So the first thing that we do when we ask anyone to come in the Care Den is to open the Gen box, this is the Gen box,
Okay.
and there's something in there, and you read the name of the person, then you read their quote or words of wisdom that they left behind.
You got it. Grab this one, all right. Yeah.
No, that one's blank.
Okay.
You got to grab one that's not blank. There we go.
Cool. All right.
Who is the person?
Roy Rice.
That's Screw the Comedian.
Screw the Comedian, okay.
I'm sure you filmed him before.
Don't get mad, get better. I like that.
Okay, I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that.
So that's it. Don't get mad, get better.
Yeah, so now put it right there.
You got it.
So you have been so impactful in the Long Beach community overall. You were born and raised in Long Beach.
Yes, ma'am.
Your father and your mother were both pillars in the community. I know your father definitely raised you.
Yes.
He has a very influential part of your life. Not to take anything away from your mother.
Yes.
But Big Duke didn't play.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Pop Givens. That's it.
Pop Givens.
Oh, yeah. He was on it.
He didn't play. Like my house was the hangout house. Your house was the hangout house for the fellas to make sure everyone stayed off the street.
Yes.
And did the right thing. He was the father to so many of our family, because they had become family.
Yes.
Family.
Oh, yes.
They were family and friends.
Our village.
Our village.
For sure.
And he was so influential. So how did you get involved with social justice movement, Stop the Violence, and then pivoting to, of course, to the Care Closet?
So I'm going to take you back to the 80s.
Yes.
And then I'll bring you fast forward. Played Pop Warner football with one of the greatest football teams that ever lived. Tony and Jerome, these guys were our pillars in our community. They put us in a position to show us greatness.
Okay.
They said, winning is not everything, it's the only thing. I know that's another quote from, I think, Lombardi, but by them instilling that in us,
right,
we always wanted to win.
Okay.
So when you have that in you, it just puts you in a position, do you want to win in the right way or the wrong way? Are you going to be the hero or the villain in your own life?
Okay.
So we started, and being around my dad would be, remember Boys in the Hood?
Yeah.
Pops is Furious Styles.
He is here. Yeah.
So he was always telling me, you're not going down the road of the gang. You're not doing that. And he was, he was serious about it too. So with me, I grew up with guys, they made that choice. But then with my friends, it was family, and what's crazy is they wouldn't let me join. Right. I remember when I called myself going up to Kings Park and said, hey, guy, can I join your club? They're like, get out of here. L7, like, that's not happening for you.
And the fact you said club.
Yeah, they were like, they looked at me like, get out of here. Yeah. And I rented actually Sam the other day, and he said, "Man, L7 is the best thing going now."
Right.
So you got good credit, boy. But in all of that, I started to see what was happening at a young age. So
Right.
being 14, 15, you start seeing your landscape change. Like, man, I remember walking home from football practice one time, and 3 young black men could not be standing on the corner together. You getting locked up because you are already being associated as an affiliation. Like that thing was happening. So you see these type of things, you're like, man. So I would fast forward you a little bit more, and we hit high school, and I'm hanging with my buddy George Powell, Pep, and we are in between the 100 building and the basketball gym, and we talking, and we're like, man, what are we gonna do when we get out of here?
Right.
And he's like, I don't know. I said, because I don't know if I'm gonna take college serious my first 2 years.
Right.
We all, we had that mature conversation. Then I go over his house later on that evening, and his dad's like, come on in here, let me talk to y'all.
And Sarge was no joke.
Yeah,
so
yeah. He's like, come in here. He's like, what you guys gonna do? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, you thought about the military? I said, my dad was in the Army. And he's like, think about the Air Force. And he planted that seed. And then you remember how they used to have the military trailers?
ROTC.
Yeah, they would come out. Yeah.
mhm.
So they came in and they was talking to me. And this dude talked me into signing up. I ain't even paying no attention. I didn't sign. I'm enlisted in the military. Don't hear. And then, here you go. I got one for you. So me, Snoop Doggy Dogg, Stanley, Earl, and George go down and take the test down off of Pine Street.
Right. Downtown.
So, downtown. Remember in the old Long Beach Mall.
yes.
So we go in, and they in there joking around. But I'm looking at the question. I'm like, I can answer these questions, and I'm taking it. And like, Snoop said, hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to the car.
Because what people don't know, Snoop was a comedian.
Yeah,
honestly.
totally.
He was totally hilarious, right.
So he walks out, leave me in there, and because we were supposed to go on a buddy system.
Right.
And I passed the test, and he said, okay. He talked to my dad because I joined at 17. You have to get your parents'
You
permission.
didn't turn
So
18 in August.
he doubled back. Yeah, so he doubled back and had my dad sign it. So I'm already enlisted in January of 1989. So I'm still in high school and I'm already enlisted. Forget about it though, because they're
Right.
coming back for me later. So you see how things are starting to happen, and then the gang violence really hit us tough. I mean, like we saw genocide, like your childhood friends that you see one day, the next day they're gone.
Yeah.
So that started like letting me know that I need to get out of this atmosphere. And from there, I would join the Air Force in 1989 and leave a gang war and actually go to war. Imagine that. Look at
Right.
that as a dynamic.
the irony of that.
Yes.
Like you didn't think about that. You were trying to escape
Yes,
the local war.
correct. And do my 4 years, come home. But now I don't want to study war no more.
Right.
So when you ask me how does the seeds get planted about social justice and helping
Yes.
individuals, I've seen how this thing is from man and woman hurting one another. I don't want to do that no more. So how can we be creative in a way to plant the seeds? So I enrolled at Long Beach City College. I'm mature enough now. Let me go ahead and get my generals out the way. And my parents handed me a camera during this time of year,
Okay.
And I looked, I'm like, that's the corniest thing ever. Y'all give me a camera? What a brother gonna do with a camera? Back then, I'm like, y'all can miss me with that. And then
Right.
I'd get the course catalog, and I seen black and white photography. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna enroll in the class. So I'm in the class, sitting in the back, and then they give me some tasks, some requirements to do. And once you show the basic concepts of how the camera works, how to open it, and I'm hanging with Snoop. I surprised him coming back home. He's like, the homie done got out the Navy sailor boy. They call me sailor boy. Him and Vince. And I'm like, man, y'all knock it. I was in the Air Force. Stop it. The homie's clowning. And I'm
They like,
snapping,
you free.
Yeah, I'm snapping images. And once they showed me how to develop black and white, because we're in a digital world now. But back then,
Absolutely.
you had to learn the science of
Right.
photography.
We 35 millimeter
Yes.
world, drop off 1 hour
That's
photo
it.
world.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yes.
at Long Beach City College, they had the dark room. So I actually went in there, I developed some prints, and when I developed those first set of prints, I fell in love. I'm like,
Wow.
this is real. This is something that's tangible. Like I had a concept, and I was able to shoot it and then put it in this developer and this fix and this mix, and I'm like, oh, it's on the cracking now. So I said,
Right.
yeah. So then at the time, all of our childhood friends were starting to become who they were.
Right.
So I'm just out.
Just capturing the moments. And a lot of them were very candid. So the next question was, did you always like photography, and how did you get started? But you just answered that, so that's excellent.
So as we are shooting, I'm shooting all the guys that I grew up with and played sports, and then the community. So, Long Beach is a bedroom community. It's a little small, big city to some degree. So, people look at it as
it's a small world, though.
Yeah.
If you come from there, it is some of the greatest people out of there. And it is, but so many people don't make it out of there, if that makes sense, or don't get the acknowledgement of the work that they have done.
Yeah. When you say people don't make it out of there, a lot of individuals get stuck in like a 7-mile radius.
Yes, and when I say, I don't mean like don't live. You are correct.
Yes.
They don't go past Wardlaw.
Yeah, they'll stay in
and
a
that's
certain.
the joke.
Yeah, they'll stay in this box. And back to your point. So as I'm shooting, I'm like, man, I didn't took pictures of guys that I grew up with, but this guy right here is from this set. This guy is from this set. This guy is from this set. And then I'm with my father again one day, and he says, son, it would be really, really interesting to see something hanging on the wall that was positive so that you can let young people see not to do something in a negative way. And I'm like, man, we should take these pictures and make a calendar. And that's how the birth of the calendar came about.
And that's the calendar by the 213.
That's it.
That is the calendar, and there's there's Nate, Warren, and Snoop on there. But it's so many iconic pictures
and images in there.
Images on that.
So at that time, I made the front cover of that calendar look like an album cover, so that people would grab it. And that's when our childhood friends were becoming successful at the time in the entertainment industry. But when you open it, it hits you right in the face. Stop gang violence.
Yes.
So that project wound up becoming a yearbook. It wound up becoming an obituary.
Yes.
It wound up becoming a cultural experience that lets our people know this is what we did to ourselves and how we should not let our next generation do to them what we did to us. So that's how the calendar came about.
Because to share for anyone out there who's not from Long Beach, you had two
rival gangs, the largest gangs
honestly,
that are African American,
Yes. And you had those two gangs, but they were all friends or family. Coming up. And some was blood family.
Yes.
And now you divide. And then you have the Rolling 20 Crips, and then you have the Insane Crip gang. But a lot of them were childhood friends and had loved each other, and because we come from an era that we were all friends.
That's what I said. That's why we use the sports platform, because everyone used sports as a rites of passage. This is of our, everybody were athletes. That's why Long Beach is always producing, superhuman beings.
Yes.
But
that's why we have also the most NFL players out of one high school. What's that high school called?
You hear? Yes, Jackrabbits, huh? I'm going to let you know about that, young man.
Period. Long Beach Polytechnic.
Yes.
The best school ever. The best high school ever.
That's it.
Yes. So
we bleed it.
Yes, and we're serious. Like, I was away at college, and this is such a true story. Someone was from New York, and they were like, "Oh, you from Long Beach?" I was like, "What high school?" And I was like, "What? Long Beach Poly?" They was like, "Why did I even ask?"
Yeah,
like,
people say it's a cult, huh?
They call us a cult. They say, "You guys are the only high school that we know in the world
rep it for real.
That rep your high school like a college.
Yeah.
We don't want to play you guys. You guys are coming up," and I'm like, bucket loads of cars. We rolling.
Winning ain't everything. It's the only thing. That's it.
And that's it.
That's how we roll.
Enter to learn, go forth to serve.
And I'm glad you put that out there, because when I left high school, that moniker that's inside of our school, it reads
on the front building of that school before you walk through those gates.
Enter to learn, go forth to serve. And that was always instilled to me. So that became a religion in my thought process. And when we help people like that, we got our skills. Poly launched us out where eagles were flying. Now, how can I serve you in a way that will help you? So I know I'm not going to play no football or no basketball. And I'm going to tell you a little story about that real quick. Just a little segue. So Vince is like, "Hey, come. We're going to try out for Poly." This little dude, Tyus Edney, happened to come. And that's what helped me join, too. So Tyus Edney in the 9th, I'm in the 12th. He dribbling with his left hand back then and right hand. So I said, I think I need to go find another career, because he's about to take my spot. So that sent me in my direction. So it worked out.
And he has still holds the record, the ESPY, where he ran down UCLA. 4 point, I think 5 or 4.2 seconds from one end to the other of the court, and made the basket and won the game.
Won the
whole
game. That's it.
and for them to go to the championship. So yes, but definitely. And I was the maid of honor in his first wedding. His daughter is born on my birthday. My daughter is born on his ex-wife Buffy's birthday, which is my best friend.
Shout out
to
Tyus. That's it. Yes. He's coaching now. So
yes.
Back to your point though, is those experiences were shaping me in a way that put me in a position to say this is not hard for me to do. So I know that I'm comfortable in that. So that space is what I found. I said, okay, this is where I'm good at, and just caring for folks and where we can help.
Where you can help them.
There you go.
And I love that.
We put this calendar together, and that wind up put me in a position to start speaking to young men and women in the schools about their direction. But with that calendar, I made a bad business decision. So I wind up getting a whole bunch printed up, not understanding how that works. So by doing that, people still bought them, but I had to sell them out the trunk.
Right.
We didn't get distribution. So that had me get a job. So I had to go pay back all my investors. And I'm laying that out because in that, I got hired at a company called Long Beach Transit.
Right.
So the lay of the land, I learned the entire city, but I'm dealing with some folks that would really question your sanity about not putting hands on them. Public transportation, all the bus drivers and those of you driving those trains, my hat go out to y'all. I love y'all because it is no joke out here in real life.
You did it for 25 years.
25 years. I gave it to them. And then when I retired, I went on a church retreat with some brothers.
Okay.
And we went to the High Sierras. And this was something that happened that really changed the way I look at life. It's about 8 men, and we're up there, and one of the men got a little too close to the side of the edge of this mountain, and he found himself slipping off the side of this mountain, and we had to make a human chain to save his life. And we just reacted. So, like, as you just reacted.
Right, everybody's like,
but then after we saved his life, then my legs, then the reality of what just happened, like, this dude almost got killed, and we almost got drugged with him. So keep that point in mind. So later on in life, I'll get married, and I'm living my life, doing my thing, and I have that dream. And then I had that dream again, and I have it the third time. I say, okay, so okay, now I'm paying attention. What's going on? So, City Councilman Al Austin was like, Duke, I need you to take a ride with me. I'm like, where are we going? He said, I need you to go with me over here by the Carmelitos. My constituents are having some unhoused individuals in the back by the railroad tracks. I just watch my back.
Right.
I said, okay, I'll roll with you. And as I'm walking to the back with him, he's talking to this young lady as we're getting closer. There's another tent. And the dude said, hey, dude. I look like, hey, who calling my name out of that tent? Like, that's freaking me out. And when he came out, he said, you don't remember me, but I remember you. We went to school together. Wow. And my heart dropped. I'm like, ah. And I'm like, but by the grace of God, why am I, on this side of this conversation? And you're, and then he explained to me, all the traumatic things that he had experienced in his life and how he wound up on the streets.
But you didn't remember who he was.
After he explained to me who he was.
Then you realized.
Because we went to junior high together.
Right, okay.
And I'm like, man, so now.
And now the name is coming back.
Yeah, and I'm like, so I'm like, okay. And then, every unhoused or a lot of unhoused locations have just a look about it that is all the same. It just looks like it's just disheveled. It looks like it's like trash. I was like, hey, man, if I brought some trash bags back, would you clean this up? And he was like, yeah, I'll do that. And I said, I brought you some food,
Right.
Took him some trash bags, and when I came back, he had it all bagged up. And I'm like, ding. I'm like, this is interesting. Like, because it's like this, and this is during the pandemic time, so I fast forward you. So then I'm like, I'm seeing what God is showing me. That experience that we had in the mountains, if you come out and link up with Leslie and hook up with Al Austin and hook up with all the people, you're making a human chain to help these individuals fall off the cliff of life.
Oh my God, I love that analogy. So, but you experienced it, and then that's it.
And that's how it happened. So I'm like, so now we understand that there's purpose in this.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, so here we go. So now I go out, and during the pandemic, I'm going into the flood control.
Right. Okay, hold on one second.
All right.
Because before we go there,
all right.
The Black Men Matter photograph that went viral, that was iconic. Like, what was your thought process when you took that? You got over 100 black men
another Jackrabbit. No, it was over. It was like 600.
I was going to say, I didn't mean
it was hundreds.
It's hundreds of black men.
That was during the pandemic.
Yes.
Sabrina
David
said, Duke, you are the only person that I trust to capture this image. So she had coordinated with
BJ.
Yes, all those individuals and said, I know my brother can capture this moment in history.
Yes.
So during that time, and I was actually nervous because I'm like, this is really, really a big moment. But for them to trust me to, capture this moment, I said, I am privileged.
You were nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, because every time, there's certain moments in life that, you'll be put in a position where even though you've done it a million times over, to have the responsibility to do it, I was like, ooh, I'm kind of feel this in my gut. And I was appreciative to know that they would trust me to capture a moment to say that, well, yes, we do matter. Yes, our lives are important. Yes.
And it was because we were in some dark times. There was so much going on with that. And it was a lot. And I hated the weekend you guys did. Of course, I'm not a black man, so it wasn't. But my husband missed out on it, and Sabrina's his auntie. So it was so, she was like, I'm giving y'all a pass, because we literally was headed out the country. And we did try to push it back, but it was going to cost so much money.
But check this out. You know me. Uncle Duke got something up his sleeve.
I know it's coming.
So now it's coming in 2025. So now it ain't going to be no mask on. And everybody got to wear their best outfit.
Right, because that was the thing. You made sure everyone was dressed. And it was there. But now what's your thoughts now on the Black Lives Matter with all the controversy? Because I know this was more about black men lives, of course, but with the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah, with organizations that that I don't know about, that's their thing.
Got it.
But with us and how Long Beach is an international city. We love folks, human beings.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the largest Cambodia population other than, I think, right outside of Cambodia.
Right.
It represents everything. And we came from a school where we have white, black, brown, yellow polka dot as our brothers and sisters to this day.
My class of 1991, you know how you get your school T-shirt?
Yes.
Our T-shirt said we was like a mixed salad. It's us, all the different races, because it was a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And it's going into a bowl, and we're jumping like jackrabbits jumping out the bowl, and it had every single race.
Yeah, back to that experience in the mountains. The gentleman who almost fell off the mountain was white. A brother went to go get him, and then the Latin brother went and got him. So we made a human chain.
Right.
So we way past that. We're in a time where I don't get caught up in the little subtle things.
Right.
It's going to take humanity to fix this issue, and then we pass that to the next generation.
Right.
But that's the God in us. You understand?
Absolutely.
So I don't get caught up in the being baited into things like that either. When people try to play the race card and stuff like that, come on now, we got family that's all races.
Absolutely.
And we go from there. So
I
don't play that. So I'm real about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you grew up alongside famous artists Snoop Dogg, Warren G, and the late, great Nate Dogg. How did that influence your vision when it came to photography?
So I am hanging out with Snoop one day, and he said, bring your camera.
Okay.
And he didn't even understand how big he was going to be at the time.
Absolutely.
But we were shooting some images, and I took some pictures, and I developed them at Long Beach City College. I showed it to him, and he said, that's tight, cuh. Snoop.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't knock it up. That's tight. And he said, you know what? I'm going to use this image. And he just took the print, and he called me a week later and said, hey, my people going to call you because they're going to throw you some change because I'm going to use your image on my album cover. Because, Snoop had a lot of the Joe Cool was doing all that artist work and stuff like
Rest
that.
in peace.
Yes.
Joe Cool.
But he used that image for his album. And from that point on, I started looking at photography differently. Now it's like, it's different from amateur to being a professional photographer. And then from there, it would so Snoop influenced me to go in a way that changed my direction. So Snoopy, thank you.
Yeah, because we call him Snoopy.
Yeah,
that is
thank
true.
you. Yeah. He said, this is going to be something that, you good at. And Nate, when he saw the count, he's like, "You tight for that?" Because I'm like, and those little nuggets, planted a seed to say they could see where my heart was in my body of work. It's never going to, degrade and talk crazy or capture an image of us in a negative light. Brother Duke is the one that's going to capture us in the light that we are from the opposite side of the spectrum.
And I'm going to contest to that. And
Okay.
I'm going to just say something because you had a partner when you were doing photography, which is Antonio, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys were solo. You guys do your own thing, but you always link
Yeah.
up together from the city. And the royal wedding, the royal court
Oh, come
wedding
on,
is getting ready. Duke has screws in his back. Duke is coming off a major back surgery.
Wow. Got hurt in the Air Force.
I was, about to say,
yeah.
from getting hurt in the Air Force, he is now retiring from Long Beach Transit. He is going into a major surgery.
And you just took me back to that moment. Wow.
Yeah.
And you and my guy about to tie the
We're
knot.
about to tie the knot. Call him up, and I'm like, I got to have you do my photography, hands down. Not because just you are my brother, but because of the work that you do and who you are.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate that.
You're
I really
welcome.
do. Yeah.
And he tells me, we don't have to talk about this because I can't. And I was like, what? That's not even an option because we don't do can't. So from there, you're like, okay, sis, we're just going to figure it out, but I barely can walk. And I'm like, but can you walk? And we talk and laugh. This is a very true story. And you're like, okay, well, I'm going to pass you on to Antonio. And I know school because me and his sister went to school together, but me and him lived around in the same block in the Rig. So when he was growing up and when he was in his street life aspect of it. And as we're going, I'm like, okay, Antonio works excellent. So there was no way. I wasn't taking nothing away from him. Not only did you show up, you were limping. You was fly as hell. You had your suit, everything on because my wedding was
It was.
Yeah.
Go ahead and celebrate yourself in that. Y'all did that.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
The wedding was definitely, you had to, like you couldn't even, it was really
You
black
had to be
tie.
there. Yeah, you had to be there.
And everyone wanted to be there. They wanted the golden ticket. And I lost some friends because, well, I don't know if they was actually friends, but people were angry.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was...
Even in that, you had to grow up in this experience of life, and people will show you who they are through the journey of life. So yeah, that's you're right about that.
And they felt because of social media, they should have been invited, and it wasn't that. And then there were some people who were not invited. They probably should have, but unfortunately, me and my husband had made a decision to, if we both didn't know them and hadn't spent time with them, then we just would not, because his family is half of Long Beach. So literally, so it was that between his mother and the father side. So literally,
that dress you had on was kind of fly that last. I said you did your thing.
It was the royal wedding, and
so.
But I say that to say, not only did you show up for me, you were literally like behind the scenes, capturing moments while Antonio was working the whole room, limping. Snapping those pictures from an iPhone. And you had then created everything. And then you were like, I got some amazing behind the shots. There was, to this day, was just so iconic and so epic. And I don't care. I am a celebrity in my head, so it doesn't matter. But it was really that whole, and it has nothing to do with this podcast. It has to do with who I am. I am somebody. People are like, oh, I'm not nobody. No, we are somebody. If you breathing air on this earth,
that's right.
You are somebody. Your life matters.
It has purpose.
It has purpose and value. So literally, I want to thank you because I know you did it for me. Because you were not working and you did not go back out and work.
I said, I would not.
And I'm back in retirement. But I couldn't do you like that. So the love, I totally appreciate that aspect. Yeah. So thank you so much. That gesture.
That had to be done for my little sister. That's it.
And you are correct. And you are my big brother, and I love you guys so much. I love you and the family. So now, I do want to talk about something that's not here, but I do want to bring this up. And it's with us. Your brother, because this is all about wellness and health. You're one of the twins.
Yeah, he succumbed to cancer.
Absolute brain cancer.
Yes. Yeah.
And that morning, I feel like you, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because I think you masked the grief because it was so much that had to go on and you were there in the trenches.
Yeah.
You showed up every time. Of course, he was at your dad's house at the end. And
Yeah, that pandemic was something that
Yes.
was diabolical because, when he passed and he died at the house, we all, coroners couldn't even come out so he had to be in the house with us. So we literally cried for a long time because, when your younger siblings pass, it's like, to some degree, like when a parent loses the child before
Yeah.
them, it's a sad
sad,
thing,
yes.
and that type of sad was just, man, we were all just in the backyard, playing baseball and tackling and boxing and,
Right.
just creating a love. And then we're back in the same bedroom when we slept, with double bunk beds, and now you're gone. So much so that the other twin, that was crazy because at the funeral, he said, imagine seeing yourself in the casket, but you're still alive. And then he checked out. So he just kind of couldn't handle it for 2 years, and he went missing for a while. So we didn't
I
know
didn't
where.
know
Yeah,
that.
my other brother. We
Yeah,
can be
I know,
candid about it.
yeah.
We can talk truth,
Absolutely.
and that's what happens in real life with families. But we were able to get him back, which our prayers are
Praise
answered. And now
God.
he's actually He's my head volunteer now at Care Closet. So it works out great.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that. And both of the twins, because they're a year younger than me.
Yeah.
And when I called, when he had passed, you were at the home, but you literally had left to go help somebody else. I remember, this is why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah. So
And
the
because
rent,
it was doing, because it was around the holidays, correct?
yeah.
Yes, around this time. It was around the holidays.
So enter to learn,
Go forth to serve.
go forth to serve. So,
But wait, hold on, because this is why I'm bringing that up. Your voice was so somber, but you had made a commitment to still. It was the holiday times, and you needed to get out there and make sure these people had some tents. And we're gonna go talk about that in next.
When you came through for, my goodness.
But it wasn't even that.
Yeah, I know.
But it was that.
You're
but
helping me remember those times.
Yes,
That's
because
been a while ago.
trust me, I know it was. I could tell if you were in my face, you were just talking, but you was not present. I call you, and you were like, "Hey, sis, yeah." You pick up, and you're like, "Oh, I'm out. I'll come by. Give me a few days." The vets just passed, and at the house, and it's just so much. But your mind was, when you were talking, it was just really. But I already knew what was going on, so I knew that, and I was like, "Oh my God, Duke, don't worry about it. If you need me to bring it," you was like, "No, just give me a moment." And you were like, "I needed to come back, but I'm about to go back to the house." And I remember hanging up that phone, and I was praying for you. I cried because I love the vets, and but I was crying because I was like, and after that, I kept checking on you because you were too cool, even though I know.
A lot of us process grief and hurt
Absolutely.
differently. And I've even seen when people say check on your strong friends too, and I appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was a very.
That's what I
difficult
was
time.
doing.
Yeah.
And when I called, because I think maybe somebody had texted me and had said he had passed. I was like, oh my God, my whole heart dropped. I immediately called. I didn't expect you to pick up, but you did. And here's the deal. I wasn't shocked that you picked up, but I knew you had been at the home, and I knew it had happened in the home. Yeah. So when I called, and you were like, yes, sis, it's true. Everyone's over here. We're just trying to figure it out. I'm about to head out. You were literally like, I was on the phone. You were walking to the car, and you was like, I need to go drop off some things.
You're going to get serious on this podcast on me, huh? Yeah, that's.
And but I want to, because we talk about grief. We talk about mental space. And you just shared with Devontae. He was not in that mental space, but that was so powerful. Like, you see your brother, you see yourself in a casket.
Identical to him.
Identical.
Yeah.
And I mean, you only knew which one they were if you were around them a bunch of times.
And like you said about Long Beach too, the city came and showed that village, so they wrapped their arms around Pastor Wayne at Antioch, he was really, really gracious in how he spoke to
Yes.
give the family some words of encouragement in the
Yes.
Lord that gave such a medicine piece.
Mhm.
And then we had laughter, so we were able to get through that time, just, trust God and keep it pushing. But it's
Absolutely.
just sometimes when tragic things happen, because certain things that I learned when I was in the military too, it's like I could compartmentalize, but that one was just hard to compartmentalize.
Yes.
And then, a lot of times people loving on you, sometimes we won't even accept that love because we're in that space where we don't want it because we're grieving over someone else.
You're not there. You're
Yeah.
not there.
Yeah.
And you're not there.
Yeah.
And grief is hard. And even when you just say it's and I don't want to cry. And you already know
B. Yeah.
the hardest for me was
Yeah.
B.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and then I feel like I could not really grieve because I felt even worse for Reba.
Our sister, yeah.
Like you together from 14 years old.
Yeah.
So then like what do you do? And his anniversary was literally a couple of days ago.
Oh,
it's the
yeah,
6th.
yeah.
12/6. Then he dies on 12/6. He's born on 6/12.
Yes.
Like the irony of all of this.
Yeah.
And be like solid. So I know what you're saying
Ooh,
because
sis, that's deep that you say that
Yes.
because B in his passing did something unique where he brought us all back together.
you better say it.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by in the
The-
context of
yes.
friendships and our
Yes.
village. So we created a form and a bond now because of B that we still all keep in contact. So everybody who kind of miss one another, we have a group of guys now that keep in contact, letting each other know how we're doing, what is our health, what is our family, celebrating one another from Hawaii all the way
All
to the
way.
East Coast.
Michael Carter, everybody
yes,
know what
yeah,
you're saying.
yeah.
And trust me, QB, like
Yeah.
trust me. And what you're saying because with B, we all know it wasn't supposed to happen. It was just it didn't go well at all. But I think most importantly, like B was the connector with all the guys, making sure, and I'm the connect with all
He's
the
just,
girls.
Yeah, he's just a cool cat. And I'm share this with you. The very first wedding that I ever did as a
was
photographer,
his.
I said, I'm not doing that. He said, yes, you is. Yes, you are. You gonna be about it. I don't care the grammar. Yes,
Yeah.
she is. You gonna be present.
Yes.
And I'm up here with the camera like, because I didn't even know aperture and ISO that well yet.
Right.
I'm literally just learning the camera. And I'm just filming back then. I said, man, I ain't trying to mess up your wedding. And it came out and he's like, Duke, we love it. And from there, that's what I said, these are our experiences with our village that makes us
Yes.
who we are.
Absolutely.
So therein lies where that's the strength and the fuel and the medicine that gets us to give it to other people.
Absolutely.
So people get a chance in our unhoused community to get that sauce.
Yes.
That funk that
That we bring.
That's it. You got it.
Because it is that polyphone.
Yes, that's it. And they're gonna get it.
And they gonna get it. So now let's talk about Care Closet.
Care
And
Closet LBC. That's it. Huh?
Care Closet LBC. We're talking about and I'm going to just say it,
Go ahead.
an award-winning nonprofit, but not just an award-winning nonprofit. You guys have won Nonprofit of the Year of California.
Yes, ma'am.
You move in silence, but everything you're doing is powerful. And we're going to talk about it today because me and you always talk off camera and things, but we say we don't share what we're doing because even though it is a family, you still have people who are not always happy for you or want to limit the support because they think you don't need it when they don't understand the impact and the movement that you're doing. And we're both guilty of it. And we can still always move in silence, but sometimes our silence don't help people. And that's the part.
I will receive that one.
Yeah,
I'll receive that.
I receive because
Say,
someone
ring
had
the
to
bell.
tell
Ring
me.
the bell. Yeah. Okay. You got
Someone
it.
had to tell me. I post me, but I never talk about what I do. So those things are so important because I create so many jobs for people, but that's not the main thing of what I'm doing. I'm out here helping
You're
seniors.
serving.
I'm serving.
Yes.
I provide a service. You're providing a service. You're serving. And that's what I want to talk about. So how did you Care Closet?
Yeah.
It was established in 2019. I'm assuming the vision that your artistic views through the lens
had a lot to do with it.
Had a lot to do with it.
It does. Because I look at Long Beach as a canvas.
Absolutely.
And I'm capturing moments with human beings to change that, to make a beautiful image. So when we say unhoused, I don't see unhoused.
Right.
I see an attorney. I see a fireman. I see a teacher. I see a doctor. But a choice or a situation or a lack of family or a lack of love has them in this place at this particular moment. But I can see a little bit further down the chessboard to say, this is what you are.
Right.
So in seeing that, I said, you know what, let me see if I can get them. And we use Long Beach canvas as the place where I'm going to do something creative with these individuals. We're going to start cleaning up. You're going to learn a skill. What Floyd Mayweather says, skills pay the bills.
Right.
So by getting them to learn how to use a chainsaw, learn how to use a sprayer, learn how to pick up trash, learn how to understand hazardous waste. And we're not competing with any city agencies, we're assisting. We're here to just help the city, not what Long Beach can do for us, but what we can do for Long Beach.
Right.
And doing that, it plants the seed. So now when you finally you are ready to get up in life and say, you know what, I'm ready to get back into the workforce, now you get this resume, oh, you good. You straight as a gate.
What you're doing.
That's it. Everybody comes along now from this town. Like Mondays, we got some barbers say, we're going to come cut your hair for you guys. Then you got Leslie show up and just give me gift cards. So check this out. So I'm going to show this to you guys. So this right here, the unhoused individuals, we...
I didn't know he was doing this, by the way.
No, come on, stop. You don't even have to explain this. This is real. We're in real time. So you have somebody come volunteer each day, but you show them what you want them to do. And I'm not putting cash in your hand.
Right.
Because that could potentially set you up to be in a bad way because you could give that away. But give you a gift card, you can get your essential items. You can go swipe it for food. You can go, get your deodorant, your toothpaste. And then a fair exchange. You learned a skill, and now you can go feed yourself. Man don't work, he don't what? Eat. So that's what we're doing. Simple as a day. So 3 hours a day, we come out, and it's 7 days a week. We go out every day if it's not raining, and we said we're going to look at this campus of Long Beach, and we're going to clean her up. I done been in the flood controls and everything. Yeah, the city prosecutor's like, Duke, now, you know it's they trespassing on that gate, right? I say, I got you.
You can't see. You can't see.
Yeah, it was like, my 2020's off.
Yeah.
But then, we go get that stuff out so it's not going in the ocean.
Right.
And that's hazardous. So they learned a skill. Then you'll see, all kinds of things. You got contractors illegally dumping. Just go pay the dump fees. But they'll go dump them in those unhoused areas too.
Right.
So I'm teaching them, let's just clean it up and not making a complaint. And then what happens is other cities can say, you know what, we should do that here. You got an army of people on the freeways and everywhere. Just give them something to do.
Because you're the leader. And that's it. And I'm saying that. So you had a goal. 3 million pounds of trash.
And we knocked it. Yeah, we're actually we're approaching it in about 2 weeks because the team is going to report to me that, we're going to do it by the end of the year. So in 5 years, with unhoused individuals, we picked up 3 million pounds of trash. Think about that. So much so that the city's like, hey, well. So now the city is starting to say, hey, let's see how we can team with you.
Right.
And Long Beach has wrapped their arms around me. The mayor, the city council, just everybody. They see it and say, you know what, this is something that they still got to make sure that it lines up right because,
right.
legality-wise and things of that nature. But it's a beautiful thing. You give people hope, that changes a life. And then if you add love with it, and it's not going to be a pretty show either because people are coming from all different types of brokenness. So certain people may not stay, but if you have a model there that's in place, it works.
And you do help with mental health.
We have situations where we can point people in those directions.
Not you directly.
Yes.
But
I'm not a clinician, but we have the resource support.
So it's basically reformation.
Yeah.
To get them back in
pre-rehabilitation.
Pre-rehabilitation. To get them back into society as far as helping them, giving them all the tools.
Normalcy, yes.
Yes. And letting them know you may be homeless, but this is not the end of your story.
You are just temporarily unhoused.
Yes, temporarily unhoused.
Yeah.
And you also provide.
So we meet them. Yeah. We go out and see what the needs are because, and I can share this with you too. Some people want to live outside. Some people don't want to
You
conform
are-
to the way society is.
And what you're sharing to me is 1,000% correct. I don't know if you knew this, but I had a transitional house for some years. And Screw, the comedian, was my director. He ran it for me. Had it for about 4 years. And I had over 40 some men at one time, each time. And I
Yeah.
mean like at one time.
Right.
And the ones who were homeless, they would come and say, "Can you cash my check?" Or they would get their check, cash their check. This was kind of pre-electronic. Everything was electronic at the time. They would cash their check. They would come pay their fees to stay there. And then they'll say, "Keep this. I'll be back later." And we would put their money away. They would go back to the parks and go sleep out there.
Yeah.
There was like the bed's too soft, the things, and we would go look for them. We would bring them
Yeah.
back in. But you are correct,
Yeah.
because that may stem from some type of mental illness going on with that, or that may be their normal, because it could have been something
Yes.
from a childhood.
Yeah. And when you say
Like
that,
you-
I can
yes.
understand it because I've been out there long enough to see the experience, like to sleep on the concrete.
Yes.
And you say a bed is too soft. So with me, I just have to look at it and say, how can we assist you to the best of our ability to where our level of expertise can help
Yes.
a human being.
And that is so accurate, because for me, and I was the only girl, so I would have like I said, that's why Screw was there,
Yeah.
because I couldn't be
You
like,
couldn't process that. Yeah.
No.
Like how you're not sleeping in bed. So that's what I'm saying. Like me, I was green when I first came into the nonprofit. But man, like, and we're in a time now where even the drugs are changing the psychosis of individuals.
yes, these aren't the same drugs that the people we knew were on back then.
Yeah,
They-
it's
like,
deep.
Yeah, because
It's
I'm not
heavy.
even trying to be funny, because the weed that our friends smoked,
Yeah.
they sell it legally now. So that goes to say like that part.
Yeah.
So you're talking about some of this stuff like
It's gonna kill you.
it's going
right
to
now.
kill you. It's like fentanyl, that, which is bizarre, because we didn't experience. We was already naturally high, I think. Like we didn't need nothing to keep us woke
Yeah.
and hang out and
Yeah.
do those things, or to study, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, these are man-made,
Yeah.
which is scary because you don't know what you're getting,
Yeah.
and it is taking society out.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah. So it all kind of revolves back around to after we made the calendar.
This is one of.
That's for you. That is a follow-up of it, and it's called "The Game Don't Change, Just the Players." So what it's basically saying is, if you don't figure out what it is in this thing called life, the game is gonna get you.
Yes.
So if you think that you're stronger than the drug, if you think you're stronger than disobeying and disrespecting your parents, if you think any of this, it's a game out there for you.
Yeah.
If you think you slick, my dad says slick, trying to be slick is going to always get out slick by slick.
By the slick.
I'm going to say that one again.
Yes, yes.
Slick, trying to be slick is going to always get out slick by slick. And I'm like, ooh, so this documentary was a follow-up to say, guys, don't go that route. We love you. And I'm giving you living document and a film, a product to show you this is historic.
This is water, by the way, not vodka.
Yeah, they know I'm the designated driver. Huh?
Yeah.
So this documentary was made to say, don't join gangs. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to use the term gangster, being educated, Leslie, you a gangster. When I see you, I said, now that's gangster right there. To see you
Thank
navigate
you.
individuals, to see how you help love without wanting anything in return. And like you said, you'll have to wrestle and battle because we still have feelings, and people may think
That's
like, hey,
what it is.
I told you, you have
Yeah.
purpose, so you don't have to worry about that. Just keep
Yes.
quiet. Just follow that straight line. Don't go in the maze
Right.
of people's emotions. Stay right where you are in your peace and help people. Enter to learn.
Go forth to serve.
Okay, we good
And
then.
I receive all of that.
There you go.
And I've been doing that. So even when I hear things, I'm like, I wasn't even there. I don't. That story's so made up.
Because we
But
had a
then, like,
conversation the other day.
Yeah.
I said, okay, enter to learn.
Go forth to serve.
And then you said, I got you, Duke. Okay, we keep it pushing.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Because
we
that's
got
just where it's
yeah.
at. Yeah, so definitely.
Yes.
So, okay.
But back to the gift cards too. So to those of you who may see this, because I don't like to ask people for anything, but if you could get gift cards and trash bags, that's all I ask for. I don't want to put cash in nobody's hands. I just want to give them a gift card so that they can go get the essential items, give them trash bags so we can go bag this trash up and then pull up to the trash. They're like, man, y'all getting busy out there. I actually like this type of work. I like doing this
do.
to, like, Me of all people, I thought I was a little bougie at the time.
I was gonna say
I'm not getting
you
dirty.
too fly.
But-
Don't touch my kicks. You're right.
I'll get out there now with them, to the best of my ability. They won't let me pick them up because of my back
I would
injury.
say, but only
They-
reason if you don't, it is because of the screws. And
Yeah, yeah.
It is your back.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they be like, oh, we got it. Don't you get hurt because the manager going to be like, if he get hurt, nobody can come out and volunteer. So, yeah, you make sure you take care of him. Because one time I was on the back of the truck and I fell out and I was like falling in slow motion like, oh, I'm about to tear myself up.
Oh, my
And he was like,
God.
man, is you crazy? You going to get me in trouble. With everybody. So we all looking out for one another. So that's it in a nutshell.
Okay, so we are now time for the rapid fire questions.
Okay, go ahead.
And it goes. It's a few of them.
Okay.
First one is, what's the most meaningful photograph you ever took?
Image of Snoop.
Okay, got it. Favorite camera?
Canon. We're talking about brand or Canon?
Yeah,
Or
just-
okay. Right now, I love that R5. It's
Okay.
it's smooth. It's glossy. Me and Antonio, I said I'm Luke Skywalker. He's with Nikon. He's Darth Vader. But we go with it. But
Yes.
but all cameras are great. But I'm a Canon guy.
Best life lesson?
Oh, that's a good one right there. Best life lesson. That may be twofold. But the first one is. If you get there early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
Huh?
And
I learned that in the
is true.
military.
And I was gonna say that's a military.
That's it.
I
I
was gonna say
learned that
that's
in the military.
a military.
It was like, I had that, remember when we used to have the Gumby haircuts? And he's like, Bobby Brown, what are you doing in my Air Force? So I'm going to say that one more time. If you get there early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And that question one more time.
Best life lesson?
Save your money. I didn't blew a lot of money. Save your money.
We all have.
Yeah.
This is our start over
yes,
era.
Yes, rainy days are coming. Make
Yes.
sure that you have, because you don't want to have to always be having to ask someone for something that you could have disciplined yourself to do. So be on time, save your money.
I love that because I
Yeah.
love that. We all, even coming out of our college, like Air Force, and you had a career,
Yeah.
like even, and you got paid, but it was almost still like that,
Oh, yeah.
living check to check.
Yeah.
But I also think the way, I do blame my parents sometimes, that baby boomer era, and I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you why. Because they did give us
Yes.
a lot if they had it.
Yeah.
So we came out of college thinking we was making like 80,000 and we was making probably 20,000.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I know you came out the military then
Yeah.
because we had those luxury things growing up.
My grandfather walked so my dad can drive a Cadillac. My dad drove a Cadillac so I can drive a Mercedes. My kid will
Yes.
drive a Rolls Royce, then his kid will be walking. Again, that cycle will repeat if we don't
Ooh,
teach them how
I
to
love
discipline
that.
themselves. How to
And,
discipline
and,
themselves.
and for the record, you are correct. And I am teaching my children that, and my daughter, both of them, educated.
Gotta teach them to work. Yeah.
But I teach them, and they do work. And I do not play. And I
Yeah.
even fired my son last summer because he was FaceTiming, walking around.
Yeah.
So this is a real business, and
That's
you are
it.
playing with me. Now you are terminated. And I swear to God. And he worked for the
And he don't know that the
No, no,
lesson
no.
we know. Huh?
he learned today.
He gotta go file for unemployment?
If nothing else, no, you're not even getting unemployment.
Oh, so you fired.
I went and gave him. I made him get a whole job, and then
Grow him up. Make him
made
better.
him grow up. And he went to work every night, working 40 hours doing security for the Westin Hotel downtown Long Beach.
Good deal.
And I made him do it because I need him to understand. This is the start over era for me.
Yeah.
I've always made great money, but it didn't always go to bad choices,
Yes.
going through a horrible divorce, paying out a 401k, different things like that. Those are the things that happen. So like
To
when you
your
said
point, my dad, and this is something that was unique too about my mother and my dad. My mom was gracious enough to allow my dad to raise me when
I
they
know.
split.
I know.
So I had some things I was dealing with their split because, nobody wants their parents to.
No.
But when she did that, she knew that the era we were going to come up in, it was going to take him to make sure that I stay on the straight and narrow. But he had me, when I got about 28, I was feeling myself thinking I can get down. And then I was like, hey, Dad, if you was 28 and I was 28, we're the same age, who you think could see each other? He said, man, I was so tough at 28, I had my own house. I said, oh, okay. So,
like, my bad, you
I
win.
said, you right, okay, I ain't going to never do that again.
Right. But that is the truth.
Yeah.
And it is like really just teaching them and doing all that, and I love it. And you are a parent now.
Yes, I have
Beautiful
two.
wife.
Yeah, oh yeah. Sister Julie, my
Sister
girl. That's
Julie,
it.
hey,
She runs this ship for us, and I have two boys, Darion and Asher, 13 and 10. So I'm later in the game with these young boys, but they give me a second wind.
I was like, joy.
Yeah.
And you are very involved.
Yes.
And they're overly active.
Yeah, Asher is a fashionista. He gonna be my little
fly
model.
guy. He's a fly guy.
Darion is my hooper. He's
Buttons.
Tyus Edney. Yes. Yeah, he's coming up. Yeah, he's coming up.
But now he's Darion now.
Yeah.
But before he was Button. And
Tisha gave him that name.
Yeah.
Tish Brooks. I was like, she's like, no, I don't care what you say. And that's what I talk about our village again.
Yes.
They, everybody takes care of one another. But yeah, these boys.
And he's out playing basketball at midnight. I mean,
yes,
literally in the backyard.
Yeah.
Hoops,
I always hear the
yes.
ball. Yeah, so he's took it and he's run with it. Because how certain people say, my boy's good. I don't do that type of thing.
You
If you
don't.
sorry, I'm going to be like Tony and Jerome. Yeah, you sorry. But he has a skill that my sister
Tony
Crystal
Jerome
played.
told you were sorry, so you was over there on that bench, but you cheering for all the homies.
Oh, yeah, you going to get it, huh?
Hold on, but your son is also being trained by your
Sister
your
and
superstar
brother-in-law. Yeah, she
sister.
played at the highest level.
Yes.
Yeah, Crystal and Ron, they run a basketball organization called Mentally Fit. So they've come up in the AAUs.
Yes.
And but what's cool about sports still is it teaches you a camaraderie, it teaches you brotherhood, sisterhood. It teaches you how to critical think. Like you said with Tyus Edney, with them 4 seconds, how you going to make it from one end to the court to
And
another?
it had never been done.
Yeah. So.
But he had already knew I
he
can
got-
do it. If I just got to, he probably been practicing doing all them suicides or something.
Now watch this.
Palmer taught him that.
My son did that exact same thing at the MAP. And I had showed him Tyus doing that against Gilbert Arenas' middle son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his middle child.
I know you're talking about,
And Gilbert Arenas, what I like about him, he made his son come and shake his hand because they want to cry. He said, no. He said, you got to respect individuals that sometimes going to win.
Absolutely.
And he did it in 5.2 seconds. I'm
But he's 13. He's not
got it
like
in. Yeah.
20.
Yes.
Tyus was 20. He was 22.
Yeah.
It was his senior year. Yeah.
So being able to be proud of your children too, and I think that right there keeps that love, that lets you know that look at these people that's back in this community, like family, like my little brother. So I'm fighting so that I can keep them alive, so that they don't have to go through certain things.
Yes.
Some of them, are an adult, but maybe they didn't get a chance to be raised like that, so they're functioning, and you see them as adult, but they still have childlike tendencies.
Right.
So I see all of that. So that's how we talk, and we just put it all together in the community.
What's next for Care Closet LBC?
I would like to take this nonprofit and recreate it in other cities,
Okay.
and in a way where I can show them the blueprint, the pitfalls, everything, just the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s of how to help the unhoused community in a way that will help every city across this nation, ultimately across this world. So I would like for our platform to be,
The blueprint.
yes, and go from there.
And you say you would like, and I'm going to speak it even further for you. You will.
I receive that. Thank you,
You
sis.
will. You
We
will.
we entered to learn.
We going
We
forth
want
to
forth
serve.
to serve. You got it.
You will do that. We will make it
Come
happen.
on, let's drink one more time on
sir,
that
we
one,
We
huh?
got to drink one more time. Yes. Got to stay hydrated.
That's it, huh? You got it.
So that is, I received that. So now, as we wrap this up, Duke, I want to thank you for coming on here. You done made me cry, of course, and but laugh and just share the knowledge of the unhoused community, because this is so important.
Yes.
And it's a pandemic.
Yes.
It's a pandemic. But like you always say, your motto is little by little.
That's it. Mhm.
Little by little, we can make a change.
That's
We
it.
can make a difference.
Yes.
So anyone who is interested in donating to Claire Closet LBC, their website is claireclosetlbc.org.
There you go. CareClosetLBC.org.
.org. But most importantly, he's accepting, it's not much. You can get in contact with him. You can what's it called? Instacart
Yeah.
something to him if you're out the country, out the city, because it's not just about Long Beach. This is worldwide help. Definitely helping if it means trash bags, gift cards,
Yes.
as well as
or food cards.
food cards. I was gonna say food cards.
Yeah, with
That is how he pays the unhoused, and they work, and they are going to hit 3 million pounds
Watch
by
out
the
now.
end of trash that they have collected in 5 years by the end of 2024.
I'm gonna give my people a hand clap.
Yes,
this
that is
amazing.
a standing
Yes,
ovation.
yes.
So I just want to thank you for not just coming on here to join me, but most importantly, to share what you're doing,
Yeah.
to have this conversation. It was just so organic because we love each other.
Yeah.
And and today, my brother said, "Can you send me some of the questions so I can get ready?" And what did I tell you?
Yeah, so we're just gonna talk. You won't knock it off. Yeah, it's gonna be organic.
like,
So it takes
yes.
me back to our in the quad at Poly.
In front of the
That's
100
it.
building.
Everybody just sitting around talking, chopping it up about our futures and our dreams and where we're going, and to see we're in the mid time of our life, and to see where we are. I'm proud of you, sis.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank
what you do for our communities
Thank
as
you.
well.
And
Appreciate it.
I'm proud of you. But our crew doing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's crazy because we move so solo, but we know who
When we
our
link,
crew
yes,
is.
yes, that's it. Oh yeah, most definitely.
And we can always jump back in. And that's the beauty of the relationships that I think we all have. And it's so funny when people are telling me about some people, sometimes I'm like, I'm like, they don't know them like I know them. But we're all so comfortable in our skin of who we are. We don't need to talk every day.
Yeah.
But if the phone rings, we always pick up or we'll shoot a text, call you right back,
Yes.
and that's what we will do.
Yes.
Hey, so before you leave the care den,
Okay.
you have to open the gym box again.
Okay, one
Take
more
a
time.
blank piece of paper.
Okay.
There is a pen inside. Grab
Okay.
the pen.
Okay.
Put your first and last name on the back.
This is the blank one. Okay.
And then from there, you will you can leave an insight, a quote, or a scripture, something that
Okay.
you would like to leave for the next person
Okay.
who comes in here. Fold it in half.
I like that
and
right
throw
there.
it in the air.
Cool. You got it.
Thank you.
You got it. So it's gonna work out in real time.
Yes.
So
Yes. So everyone who comes
this
to
is
this
yours
is mine.
and that's yours.
Okay, perfect. Everyone who I love this picture.
I haven't even released those really yet. That's what I'm saying. So those are I'm going into my vault, woman. And
Okay.
oh man, this is cool.
So I know you
oh.
don't. Okay.
All right.
So I know you don't drink,
Okay, yeah.
but it's an ice. It has like their whiskey glass, but it has the little.
super solid. Super
Yes.
Got the smell
in
good.
the ice mold set, so you can put your nice cold ice water in
There
there.
you go.
A calendar. So it's just a wellness bag that we make sure that everyone gets and do whenever they come in here. But you have a charging thing for your car.
Oh, solid.
So we give just a gift and everything, but then I do have a check for you that I am going to donate money to
I appreciate
Care
that.
Closet
Thank you
LBC.
so much.
So I'm getting ready to
Yes.
go write it because I
Okay.
didn't write it because
Thank you
you
so
came
much.
early and that's your tip, you say. But I
Thank
am
you so
going
much.
to hand you a
And you
gift.
know the check is just gonna go to our people, and we're gonna take care of
Absolutely.
them. And I really like helping the infrastructure of these individuals is truly what it's about. So, thank you, Jack.
I'm
Rabbit.
grateful for
That's
you.
it.
I'm
That's it.
grateful
Yeah,
for you.
this is
I
all
know
good.
what you're doing.
That's it. And in closing, I'd just like to dedicate this podcast to my younger brother DeVeas and to our childhood friend Bidell,
Yes.
BB, aka BB.
AKA BB.
These individuals are why we do with other people, but why we do what we do. Take that
They
Long Beach
are.
to the next level. That's it, huh? Take it to the next
I'm
level.
struggling with B, and it's been 2 years.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I am because I used to talk to him almost every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
Head up and shoulders
definitely.
back, huh? That's it, huh?
Absolutely.
That's it, so.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Definitely. I love you.
That's it.
I
Everyone.
love you.
Got you, sis. Got it.
Duke's journey is more than just a photographic narrative. It's a testament to peace, understanding, and the power of human connection. From witnessing war in the streets of Long Beach to becoming a soldier in the Air Force and being deployed to Desert Storm, Duke has used photography as a tool of healing, understanding, and bridging communities. We are in some trying times right now. Duke reminds us that art has the power to heal, unite, and provide service to all mankind. His journey from a young man in Long Beach to a photographer capturing moments of human interaction to providing continuous service for the unhoused in his community. It is a true testament that Duke understands the assignment when it comes to our high school motto, which is enter to learn and go forth to serve. Capturing humanity one frame at a time. You can find more of what Duke is doing with his work at careclosetlbc.org, and Instagram is at Duke Photo, the number 4 in the letter U. Duke Photo for you. Until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, stay motivated, and keep seeing the world through a lens of understanding.